Hello, everybody listening to the Fair Weather Podcast. Boy, 2K Swallow. I'm here with my dog, A-Rod. We've been off for a couple of weeks, but we back in the building. We both had some vacations pre-planned with the hurricane mixed in the middle of all that. So it's been a fun time in the last couple of weeks. But we back, we healthy, and we better than ever. Both of our baseball teams are in the middle of a playoff run right now. Both of our football teams are surprisingly doing pretty well. I definitely know for A-Rod, much to his surprise, they're doing pretty well. So how's everything been, my friend?
Yeah, man, I gave them 4 wins and they're at 3 already. So
I'm ready. Listen to me, man.
I told you I'm ready to eat crow on this. I want to eat crow on it.
Yeah.
I need to see progression. I need to see constant, being better each week. And that's what we're seeing out of this. But yeah, I just got back from Europe. My boy over here is engaged, so congrats to him. Don't act like he doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't want to share his little.
I did a little something this weekend. A little something in Asheville. Crazy, but yeah, I'm off the market. So, hey man, if you was trying, sorry, yeah, you waited too long. I'm happy. Goodbye.
We're all very happy for you, but yeah, man, I'm totally excited right now. The way my teams are playing, especially the New York Jets, they're turning my head, make me want to watch them more. And Yankees are back in the postseason and doing things, and I'm loving it. So
speaking of being happy for our teams, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what I did right lately, but like University of Michigan is undefeated. I got a big one against Penn State this weekend. The Eagles are 5-0, undefeated. God only knows what the heck's going right with that team. The Phillies made the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. And then we got past the wild card, and we're up 1-0 on Atlanta as we speak. The game's delayed, so we're going to see how game 2 goes tonight. But, I like my boy Wheeler tonight. We're going to see how that goes. I got to celebrate with the team via FaceTime. Shout out to my boy Christian. So, I celebrated with them twice now. So, I've been getting drunk with the Phillies the last couple of weekends. I don't know what else. USF, besides USF sucking, the Sixers, we start next week. I like the team on paper. I like the roster. I don't know. I did something right, man, because all my teams is doing pretty well right now. So.
Everything is looking right, and it's good. Even as a Knicks fan, if I can touch on that quickly, they look like they're gelling pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
I don't want to eat crow on that one too. I still don't think they make the playoffs, but we'll see.
Have you seen my boy Tyrese Maxey? I think he could be a superstar, man. It's things are looking up from all my teams right now, and I can't even complain. It was like the best possible time for me to propose. I'm like, it was a full moon. My team just won. Everything was like, damn, everything's just going so well. I guess this is the time, because September was a horrible month for me. And somehow October is just like has been taking off ever since. So, hey, I can't help but be happy. But let's
only up from here.
Yeah. So we, like I said, we've been off for the last couple of weeks. So we haven't got to talk a lot about football. There's a lot that's been going on. This has been a crazy season so far. Honestly, all these storylines that you can, fish from anywhere. We both have our power rankings ready to go, our top 10s. But before we get to that, in the last couple of weeks, kind of just in your perspective, what teams have stood out to you in the last couple of weeks that have really like caught your eye?
Well, the New York Jets, of course, I'm going to say them. They've definitely caught my eye.
What's going right? What's going right for you?
I think it's just putting the right pieces together in the puzzle, like having the right players and that fit the mold for you. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I told you I was happy with some of the signings this offseason. I wanted big name players, but we didn't get that. But the O-line looks healthy. All our draft picks look like home runs, every one of them. And Sauce Gardner is the truth, man. Sauce Gardner is the truth. So, and I think having a young head coach and somebody like Saleh just makes everything better around that.
Yeah.
I think another surprising team to me, Cowboys, with Cooper Rush. I didn't think that he was going to be that good of a game manager for them. I thought they were going to definitely struggle, but they're finding ways to win, and they're beating good organizations as well at that too.
They
So
beat both teams that were in the Super Bowl last year already.
Yep.
I got to give that defense a lot of credit. Obviously Cooper's doing what he needs to do, but it's Tony Pollard has some explosive plays these last couple of weeks. I mean, to hold the Rams to 10 points, the Rams looked pretty bad against San Francisco, and somehow they found a way to look pretty bad against the Cowboys, maybe even worse against the Cowboys. That Cowboys defense is legit. I will give them that. But talking about the team that plays in your same stadium, and the Giants, ain't nobody thought they were going to go to London and beat Aaron Rodgers there too. Like,
Yep.
the couple of other games that they won, okay, their defense has been playing pretty well as well, and they've managed those games properly. The Titans game, they were aggressive and it worked out to their favor. But to beat the Packers, I got to tip my cap to them. It's annoying. I thought we can just have the NFC East to ourselves and just relax. But I actually think it's a good thing for the Eagles that the Cowboys and Giants are playing well, because we know we can't let up now. Like we can't coast. Like that Arizona game, we could have easily found a way to lose that game, and we found a way to win. The Jacksonville game, we were down 14-0. We found a way to win that one as well. So we're showing that we can win so many different ways in Philly, running the ball, passing the ball, playing, excellent defense. And, you're talking about the Jets having good offseason signings. I mean, our offseason has been perfect so far. I mean, all the big plays that are being made have been by C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Hassan Reddick, what's his name? A.J. Brown, making big catches. Devontae Smith is still, we got the Batman shirt on because, we Batman right now. That's kind of the theme right now in Philly, is the Batman theme. But yeah, everything looks pretty good. But the one I really want to harp on is the Kansas City Chiefs have the number one scoring offense in the NFL, and everyone was talking about without Tyreek Hill, the offense is going to be shit. And I said over the summer,
we both said we were both on the same page about that.
This is going to force Patrick Mahomes to be a better quarterback, because now he doesn't have that security blanket anymore. And if anybody was more capable, I was like, of course it's going to be Mahomes. He's going like Aaron Rodgers. You can tell there's a little bit of a drop off without Devontae Adams. You can tell there's a little bit of a struggle. And he really needs that security blanket that he had with Devontae. Patrick Mahomes, on the other hand, I'm hearing, Josh Allen is front runner for MVP right now. Man, like for what, we talk about storylines, for what Mahomes and them got to do to overcome this season so far. Right now, what Mahomes and them is doing is I got him as my MVP front runner, because I think Juju Smith-Schuster has been revitalized. Valdez-Scantling, in Green Bay, he was just a deep threat. Now, he's being relied upon. They have a hell of running backs, a lot of young players. McKinnon, Edwards-Helaire, Sky Moore, the small guy, and then obviously Kelsey being there. So everything is this. I mean, they were down 17-0 on Monday Night Football, and everyone knew, obviously, you're not going to be, you have Patrick Mahomes. Nobody was nervous as a Chiefs fan. I'm sure, like we see it in the playoffs when they went to the Super Bowl. We see it all the time. 17-0, 24-0, we've seen them down that much. And the way they play never changes. So I got to tip my cap for real to Kansas City, because, I mean, to me, outside of that Colts game, which was just a weird loss.
Another thing I tip your cap to, because they're leading the division now again, aren't they? Aren't the Colts one in the division? Are the Colts one in the division or two?
Are they? That division's pretty.
Remember the Titans.
That division's pretty. Yeah, it's the Titans are 3-2. The Colts are 2-1. Jacksonville's 2-3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they're my dark horse anymore, but the Titans and the Colts, I mean, bounce right back. Get back on and go.
Did you watch that Thursday night game last week with the Broncos and the Colts?
Oh yeah, that was
probably the worst football game I've ever seen in my entire life. And then now this coming Thursday night, we got Washington and Chicago. I don't know what the hell is going on there. But as far as like disappointing, I am still disappointed in the Colts anyway, because they only won that that Broncos game because the Broncos lost that game. Like to me, Russell Wilson did dumb things. Nathaniel Hackett did dumb things. You know,
Jonathan
no one
Taylor
scored a touchdown. Like I don't really feel it with the coach still, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor didn't play either, so that's a big factor as well.
Yeah,
So,
but Jonathan Taylor hasn't really played that well this year because our offensive line's been trash.
I know, but also everybody was saying, the Jaguars, just because they win 2 games, are going to be number 1 in the division. Look at them now, slipping and slipping. So
yeah.
It's a weird division, but I still think the Colts are going to come out on top and or the Titans, one of the two.
Who's stopping the Dreadnought?
Huh?
Who's stopping the Dreadnought? Dreadnought look like
it's going to be one of the two. The
Dreadnought steam again.
Dreadnought going to do what the Dreadnought does, man. That's all I know. But
I'm not winning streak.
I'm not saying they're on my dark horse team anymore. Absolutely not. I'm over that. So,
all right. Who's been disappointing you the most?
Oh, easy. Pittsburgh, big time.
Yeah, your boy Najee too, huh?
Yeah, and that's not his fault though. I've been looking at I want to find reasons to blame him, but it's not him. That O-line is atrocious.
Yeah,
probably the worst O-line I've ever seen the Pittsburgh Steelers have, and they just can't get him going. I mean, he gets a lot of rush attempts, but there's no holes being created for him. And I think it's identity. I think now that Kenny Pickett's going to be starting, we'll start seeing the team pick up momentum now.
Yeah.
But I think it was identity crisis once again. We got Trubisky in here for a reason. He has NFL experience, but we also won the first round. I don't get that. So that's been my disappointing team so far.
I can't really be disappointed in Pittsburgh or New England for that matter, because when you've been that good for so long, at some point you're allowed to have a down year. Come on. You haven't picked in the top 10 in so long. You just keep shuffling old guys, and you had Ben Roethlisberger for how many, or 14 or 18 years or whatever it was, almost 20 years. You had Tom Brady for 20 years. At some point, that Band-Aid of quarterback gets ripped off, and you have to kind of just start over again. And this is the first time that Mike Tomlin hasn't had Ben Roethlisberger. Even the years that Ben Roethlisberger was probably hurt or whatever, like when the Mason Rudolph and stuff like that, they still find a way because the team was built properly. Now it's young. It's a lot more youth on this team. Your wide receivers, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, George Pickens, they're all children. I mean, let's be honest. Your quarterback is a child because Kenny Pickett's obviously the guy going forward. Your running back's a second-year player. Your offensive line is not that good. All you got to hang your hat on is, well, we got some good defensive players, but TJ Watt's out for a few weeks. They're to me, Pittsburgh's allowed to have a down year, so I can't really be disappointed in them. And Mike Tomlin, his claim to fame is, he hasn't had a losing season since he got into the league. Obviously, we know. I think at this point we can just say that's going to be over with this season.
I said that beginning of the year.
Yeah,
and then
you said at the beginning of the year, and then the Air Forces came out.
Yeah, and I took it back, and then I'm sticking with it though, man.
No, you were right though. You were right, because at this point, I think we can all say, yeah. So they're 1-4. The schedule doesn't get any easier. They're on a 4-game losing streak. This is unprecedented, stuff for them. So yeah,
and the roster looks good. It's just that O-line. It's just that O-line and getting the team acclimated to who your quarterback is going to be. Once you figure that out, sky's the limit. But they got to address that O-line. They got to pick up somebody.
I would be a little bit more disappointed in the Rams. They've looked horrible this year. They've lost 3 games. That Thursday night game against the Bills, when the whole world was watching, it was atrocious. The Monday night game against or was it Sunday night, Monday, whatever it was, then they played last week against 49. It was Monday night against the 49ers. They looked atrocious. And now the Cowboys game, which is probably the game of the week, 425, kickoff, whatever, they looked atrocious. So And now I heard that OBJ got underballed with his contract offer. Allen Robinson getting $45 million should just stand out there and do nothing and ruin everyone's fantasy team.
Yeah, that's a team with an identity crisis right now, and
Yeah,
you call it the Super Bowl hangover. Um, I think the right guys are playing without a hangover. Like Aaron Donald's doing his thing there still. I mean, Jalen Ramsey, I saw like 3 touchdowns get caught on him this year already. He doesn't look the same.
yeah,
Uh,
he's lost a step. I mean, he's had
he's
some
lost.
good plays too. Like he did a
No,
good
yeah,
job against CD Lamb on Sunday. Like I think he had like he was one on one with him 7 times. He only had like one catch on him, but like
yeah. There's
oh
games I've seen him get like
yeah,
muscled around.
yeah,
I
exactly.
forgot who it was too. I remember I was watching. I was like, that does not look like Jalen
Yeah, yeah,
Ramsey.
yeah.
And then Bobby Wagner, of course, he's new to the team, but he's got that type of pedigree under his belt, being a Super Bowl champion as well. Um, but yeah, the Allen Robinson thing is a head scratcher right now.
Yeah.
The identity at running back is definitely a head scratcher as well. Like,
Do you think that's a coaching thing, or is that a quarterback thing, or a scheme? Like, what do you think it is with that? Because like obviously, when you play in the Rams, if I'm defense, even though I know we can't cover him, we all know the ball's going to Cooper Kupp. They don't run the ball like they should. They don't look at anybody else unless it's him or Higbee. Like, what do you who do you think? Who do you think is the reason for that? You think it's Stafford? Like he's just like too comfortable with him, or what?
I think it's a new offensive line coach, because wasn't it Kevin O'Connell last year was the O line or the offensive coordinator,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah. Now he's in Minnesota. Yeah,
you got a
on
new
4-1. Go figure.
yeah, so you got a new system going on now. And takes time. I still the Rams are my favorite. They're not my favorite anymore to go to the Super Bowl anymore. Unless they start picking things up. But there's things that just doesn't make sense. One, the O line is bad too. Who'd have thought one guy retires and that brings everything down for
And that
you?
one guy is 40 years old, and he was he
And he
was
was
that important to your line. So you can tell, yeah, it was obviously a problem.
yeah, they're having identity at O line and running back and everywhere on offense, really. The
Yeah.
defense, I feel like, is okay. The
Defense
linebackers
is
are doing okay.
okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not tackling well. Like I
they're
saw
not.
Debo Samuel just run up and down the field on them. Like, come on now. I saw Tony Pollard just run up and down the field on them. Like, come on now.
Yeah, but yeah, I get it's another one that I would put as my head scratcher as well, that isn't performing the way they should. But Super Bowl hangover, you called it, man. And I don't know what it is. I want to blame the old. It's a new book that everybody had to learn this year,
Yeah.
new playbook. But they gotta find ways to get it together, because Seahawks are making them look like a bunch of jokes out there. So
Yo, could we talk about Geno Smith? They try to write him off, but he ain't right
I,
back. They
I
could have
wrote,
beat they did pretty well against the Saints, but like overall, you got to give Pete Carroll's winning that battle of him versus Russell Wilson right now. You remember like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, we're gonna see who was gonna win first, and obviously Tom Brady is winning that battle. Pete Carroll is showing that he wasn't BSing when he wanted to get rid of Russ.
bro, Pete Carroll's 1-0 against us. Like, we trying to write Pete Carroll off. He don't want to hear that shit
Yeah,
against
exactly.
us. We're like, this is Pete's last year, and Pete's like, look what I'm doing,
Yeah,
guys. Like,
I thought it was Pete's fault. All this time, we thought it was Pete's fault. And lo and behold, Russ has probably lost a step because he got Geno Smith looking like a top 7 quarterback. Like, come on. Like, that's incredible. They just lost Rashad Penny for the year, so that's gonna suck. But DK Metcalf and what's his name? The other guy, what's the other receiver?
Pocket.
Yeah, Lockett. I mean, the numbers are not falling off. Like they're like, yeah, we still fine, we still good. So everything Richard Sherman was saying was right, I guess. I don't know. Like he's proven himself. But who's looked worse in your eyes? So obviously, I'm looking at a couple of bad teams in the last couple of weeks that obviously one of the coaches, Matt Rule, got fired. And Baker Mayfield has been a nightmare there. And then Carson Wentz, they were so happy to get rid of him in Indianapolis. And Washington was so happy to pick him up. And next you know, Ron Rivera is saying the reason why we suck is the quarterback. So who between Washington and Carolina, who's headed in the worst direction right now in your opinion?
I mean, I said it from the beginning. I said that Carolina has an identity crisis right out the gates, and you're seeing it. The Baker Mayfield signing was, I feel like, we're going to sign this guy and we play the Browns week 1. So we're going to go out of head steaming, ready to go because it's going to be a revenge game for him. And you're not seeing that. You're seeing like mediocre play at that. And
worse than that, they're like almost dead last in every offensive category.
Yeah. CMC's doing his thing, the great white Buffalo running back right there. DJ Moore is definitely suffering in this.
Yeah.
Robbie Anderson had one good game and he's been abysmal. Everybody there just doesn't look good. Yeah. And I want the best for Baker Mayfield, but it's hard. This is something hard because teams have quarterbacks, and what do you do with a first overall pick? Of course, he's got that pedigree.
Yep.
Does he become a backup? What's going to go on for him? Because they're writing him off, and he's wanting to, keep writing something back to them right now. In Carson's situation, I believe they have Heineke still, don't they?
I don't know who they have anymore. I'll put up the roster right now, but
I'm pretty sure Heineke's still there. But they can turn to somebody else. And Ron Rivera,
I don't think they can turn to anybody else.
I think you can. I think Carson Wentz has his moments, but Carson Wentz is going to be forever stuck in Carson Wentz's own head. He pays to live in his own head.
You know what though? The thing with Carson is that he's thrown for a lot of yards, and yeah, Heineke's still there. He's the second string. Sam Howell's the third string, but I think they'd much rather play Sam Howell because they drafted him before they start playing Carson. Taylor Heineke again, because I don't think Heineke was not good at all. So at least they can see what they have in Howell. But the thing with Carson Wentz, he's throwing for, I think he's like top. He's throwing for 1,390 yards. That's fifth in the NFL right now. He's tied for fifth with touchdowns with 10. But he has 6 interceptions, which is 30th. And his QBR is 24th at 38.2. So it's like he has his highs, but his lows are just so bad and very untimely. Like, I remember
we see the same thing we see with Jameis Winston out of him.
Yeah,
basically.
Correct.
He tries to force the ball in places he doesn't need to force it.
Absolutely.
He wants to make that big play because he's got a hell of an offense to work with. That offense is pretty good on paper when you look at it and sit down. And it can only be better wondering what we're going to get out of Robinson. But just make the plays that are going to win you the game, man. Don't go overdo it. And
speaking of the offense, did you see Brian Robinson came back to that many men? Because you remember he got shot over the summer, and many men. I thought that was pretty cool. I big ups to him. I'm happy that he's able to still play football like with that quickly. That to me is really dope. But even no matter what, I don't know, man. If I had to choose a team that is worse off, to me, Carolina, because at the end of the day, Ron Rivera is a good coach. We've seen him do good things. Matt Rule just got fired. I don't know what direction they're going to head into, but Matt Rule was a bad hire off the rip. Who was the Giants coach a couple years back?
Joe Judge?
No, the Giants. No, not Joe Judge. Right before him.
Oh, I know you're talking about the guy with the mullet. I forgot his name. He was only there for like a year.
He's their offensive coordinator. Like, the running game is Christian McCaffrey. Now he doesn't want to. Apparently, teams are calling like, "Yo, what's up with C-Mac?" Like, Buffalo's on the phone. Apparently, the Eagles are on the phone. Like, C-Mac doesn't want to be there anymore. Like that's a toxic environment. Robbie Anderson didn't even want Baker Mayfield in the first place. What's his name? DJ Moore has had how many 1,000-yard seasons in a row, and now he's like mediocre at best. Like, they have nothing going for them anymore at all. So to me, Carolina is in a heap of trouble. I don't know who can come over there and save that program, but it's over for him, man. Cam Newton, I know. Podcast is more important to him now. Like, he hasn't been in the gym no more. So, but honestly, think about it. They had a culture when Cam was there. They played a really good defense, and he ran the hell out of the football, and Cam Newton was Superman. Like, that was their identity. Now it's like you say, identity crisis. I mean, they got nothing going for them right now. It's like it's sad, honestly, to see, but that's kind of the state of Carolina right now. Like, I look at the NFC South, and the reason why we already know the Bucs for 1,000% are going to make playoffs, no matter how bad sometimes it looks. The Falcons, what the hell is going on with Mariota? He's not that good. He's making Drake London. Drake London had a couple good weeks. Now he doesn't look as good anymore. Kyle Pitts was a number 4 overall pick, and like he's playing. It's like he's a 7th round pick now. Like I don't know what the heck happened there. They're shuffling through running backs. Like Cordell Patterson's hurt. Now they got all these young guys. So the Falcons to me are, and they almost beat the Bucks, but they're not there yet. Carolina is trash, and the Saints, they don't have any healthy players that can play but Taysom Hill, it feels like. Like Kamara's been in and out. Jameis hasn't played in a while. Michael Thomas once again is back on, whatever. Olave just went out. Landry just went out. Like it's so. They had Latavius Murray for a second. Latavius Murray then signed with the Broncos. Now Latavius Murray's with somebody else now. It's like it's so crazy what's going on with the Saints. But the Bucks look good in that division, and the NFC East doesn't really need Washington to be good because they're gonna suck anyway. So, but I'd much rather be Washington than Carolina. I'll say that much.
I would too. I feel like there's more appeasing things on the roster in Washington than there is in Carolina.
Yeah, you got Scary Terry, you got Dotson, you got they got
got it all. You got it all. Carolina is just it's a mess there right now, and like I said, identity crisis going into the season.
All right, and then really quick, let me hear your top 5. I mean, I would let me hear your top 10. Just run them off. Your top 10 in your power rankings right now.
All right, so 1, you got to go with who's undefeated. We got to go Eagles number 1. 2, I have the Buffalo Bills, just because even though they lost that one game, they're still defeating teams by a lot. So there's definitely an argument to put them at 1, but because the Eagles are undefeated, like you deserve that crown. And the Eagles are playing great.
I want us to be overlooked, so please put us at 5 if you want to. I don't care.
No, the Eagles are 1 or 2 in mine, and Bills are either 1 or 2 in mine. But I would put the Eagles there at 1. Kansas City, you have to respect it. I was like arguing whether I should put them at 2 or 3. Only because they lost to the Indianapolis Colts is the reason I'm putting them there. And so I put them at 3. 4, I got Tampa Bay. 5, I got Dallas. 6, I got Minnesota. 7, I have San Francisco. 8, I have Baltimore. 9, I have the Giants, and 10, I have the Chargers. So kind of similar to
Jets in the top 10.
Nope, not at all.
That's the first time you didn't make a homer pick.
No, I'm not going to put them there. They're in my top 15, though. I was looking at a lot of people's numbers today, and I was like, okay, I didn't think we would be. I was like, okay, they're going to put the Jets in, the 20s, and I was like, holy shit, now the 20s, and they were like in the top 15. I was like, okay, it's enjoyable.
So for me, I put Philly number 1. At the end of the day, we are undefeated. We have a very good defense and a very good offense, and we're going to win however we need to win, and I'm okay with that. The difference, I got 2 Kansas City instead of Buffalo. We're going to find out after this weekend who's better between. I think whoever wins between Kansas City and Buffalo this weekend, I'll automatically put them at number 1 personally, because that's the game that everyone has circled, obviously. And then the us against the Cowboys, because I have the Cowboys 5 and the Bucks 4. That those 5 can shuffle so quickly next week because Tampa Bay, they play Pittsburgh, so they should be fine. Dallas and us, that's going to be, it's a Sunday night game, which, you throw everything out the window for Sunday night football and a division rivalry. Like everything's out the window. It's all about who's going to fight the hardest, right? 6, I actually have Baltimore. I think Baltimore could easily be 5-0. They were up 28-7 on the Dolphins, and then they were up 20-3 on the Bills. They just had some bad play calling in late in the fourth quarters, and
Lamar didn't lose the game. So.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, Lamar is still Lamar's a dog. I don't know why that Brent Shook has not been back into his parking lot yet, but I'm putting Baltimore at 6. I do like what Minnesota's doing. I got them at 7. The only loss they have is to the Philadelphia Eagles. 8, I got San Francisco. I think San Francisco is a very, very dangerous team. The only thing that can hold them back is Jimmy G. Court. I mean, even when it was Trey Lance, I was the only thing to me that could hold him back. Like everything else with San Francisco, I like. Like even when the running backs get hurt, is next man up. You know, Deebo Samuel's going to be in the backfield. Like I love the way San Francisco is built. And then 9 and 10, kind of similar to yours. I got the Giants and the Chargers. I didn't think the Giants would ever make a top 10 in my power rankings this season. And what's the
Packers.
Dayball. I got it. Yo, he's the real deal. Brian Dayball. I was scared that he would turn him around too quickly. He's turned him around way too quickly for me. I'm like, y'all need to chill the hell out because looking at their schedule, they got Baltimore this weekend, but after that, schedule is, they can win some games this year. So I think New York is definitely a threat to make the playoffs this year. And then the Chargers, they got a few small things they need to figure out. And Keenan Allen needs to be healthy. But once that happens, I think the Chargers are going to be able to take off. Because obviously, in the preseason, we looked at the AFC West and we thought it was going to be, oh my God, it's going to be so impossible. The Raiders and the Broncos, they keep finding ways to lose games. And the Chiefs and the Chargers, the Chiefs for sure have been finding a way to win games, and Chargers are starting to kind of pick it back up a little bit. So I'll wrap it up with the Chargers at 10. So that's why I got it.
Okay. Yeah, it's all speculation to change too, because anything can happen in the middle brackets there, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we just getting into the second quarter. We're like in the midway through the second quarter of the season. A lot's going to happen between now and the end of October, and then obviously we'll revisit this. But we'll post this on the page, and you guys can go ahead and comment and say what you need to say. Dolphins fans, you're not in the top 10 no more. I'm sorry. Tua hasn't played, and now
you got waxed 40-17, and I don't want to hear because I knocked out your second quarterback in the first.
It is what it is, right? Hey,
winners win, right? Winners win, huh?
Winners win, right? Exactly. All right. I mean, the Patriots were on their third string quarterback, and they won 29-0. 29-0 with their third string quarterback. I'm just saying. Anyway, keeping it in the NFL, I just want to talk really quickly about some controversy this weekend with roughing the passer. Clearly, with the whole Tua situation, I feel like the league is overcorrecting and over analyzing this whole roughing the passer thing. Once again, as usual, once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year, we're going to see this with Tom Brady getting away with whatever he wants to, and the refs are always going to go into his favor. Grady Jerry had a clean sack on him, clean sack, which would have, I mean, if it was a third down play, and I think that backed them, but there was an 11-yard loss. They would have had to punt the ball, and Atlanta would actually have a chance to go win that game. And Atlanta was hot offensively in the fourth quarter. And then we fast forward 27 hours later, and Chris Jones has a strip fumble sack on Derek Carr, and then they called that one roughing the passer as well, which I've never seen that on a strip fumble. Like, I mean, he literally took the ball out of his hands, and I mean, it's a fumble. He's up. He used him to stand up, and they call roughing the passer there. What the hell's going on in your opinion? Because it's disgusting right now. Like, do they want them to play football anymore, or is it the Pro Bowl like for the quarterbacks? Like, what's going on?
It's my boozy moment, man. Come on, man. Mm-hmm. Come on, really? Like, it's all right. The way I see it is, when you look at Jarrett's sack on Brady, of course you're going to be concerned of the way that he turned Brady around and ragdolled him to the ground. But what is he supposed to do? There's adrenaline going. He's going at full pace. His job is to bring that man down. His job is to win the game at all costs. Now, I get it if the ball was released and he went over there and just pummeled that. Yeah. But he didn't. So what I would say the most violent position in the game would be your defensive line, because they're pushing through trying to get to the quarterback or whoever has the ball at full force while being blocked by another man. So I don't know. We say it all the time. The greats are going to get their calls. Brady's going to get his calls. Rodgers is going to get his calls. Mahomes is going to get his calls.
I see Mahomes get ragdoll like that, just like that. He don't get that call. I seen. I mean, I know they're now considered a runner when they're out of the pocket. I've seen some quarterbacks get annihilated. They don't get that call. But I swear, Tom Brady started to run with that football, and Grady Jarrett stopped him from running and threw him to the ground like he should.
He should have, and I don't think that should have been roughing the passer at all. I think roughing the pass, like there's a lot of things in the NFL when I watch games, I'm like, isn't that kind of like leading with the helmet? And it's
Yeah.
not. And sometimes they call it, sometimes they don't. I see players all the time bend low and lead with their helmet to crash another guy. You're leading with the helmet at that point. But what point do we call this soft, like a soft lead? So I don't know. I just think it's on any given Sunday, and I think it's whoever's officiating, and if somebody pissed in their Cheerios that morning.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think it's hazy. I thought that call, especially while watching it, because Atlanta was still in that game. Once that was
21
called,
15.
once that was gone, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. They were going to score there. So
What's the fix?
what's the fix?
Yeah, what do you think they can change?
I really don't know. I just think you have to have a finite rule that says if this is that, and that's what it is. But not because he's America's sweetheart and he got tackled and was going to lose a game to an underachieving team that probably shouldn't beat him. Does America want Tom Brady to win? Absolutely. Is it a better Cinderella story if the Falcons win? Absolutely.
Well, what do the ratings want? The ratings want Tom Brady to be good.
But we go with this all the time when it comes to sports, and we can even segment after this part to your another thing that you want to talk about with Tom.
Yeah.
But it's insane. Like I don't know what person needs to be done. I feel like a lot of the rules need to be tweaked because we see things happen, and like I said, leading with the helmet. I don't even know what's considered leading with the helmet.
Yeah, that one's a.
I watch football with my dad every time. He's like, "Isn't that a penalty?" I'm like, "Everything's a penalty in the NFL, technically." So, I don't know how to fix it. I just think you got to let the guys play. And if it's a clean sack like that was, which was a clean sack, I know we're nervous because of the whole Tua thing, and that's, in my opinion, that's more shame on the Dolphins organization than the NFL at this point. So he shouldn't have been out there to play that second game. So, and once he went down, shame on them. But that's what we're scared of. And the way that he threw him down, everybody was like, "Oh my God, is Tom okay?" Tom's fine. Tom's a competitor. Tom's not going to get up and throw you.
I mean, he was trying to kick him in the nuts when he got thrown down.
Yeah, so I don't know what the fix is. Just the NFL is not on the same page with me as far as rules go. I'm sorry. I just watch it. I'm like, this could be this and that and that. But I'd love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the way I saw it and see it, it's like when I saw the Tua thing happen, right? Like I remember immediately, as soon as I saw that play happen, I was like, there is no way I'll let my son play football, right? Because it's a dangerous game. Like every time me and my girl watch football, I swear every time we watch a game, somebody's on a stretcher. It's like it's incredible. Like that in a bad way. Like it's just, how does this always happening? But at the same time, it's like it's such a hard thing to think about, because like in one breath I'm like, I can't let my son play football. That's happening. But in the other breath I'm like, yo, why is the league being so soft? So it's like, what can you do at the end of the day? But as far as sticking to the roughing the passer, to the way I see it is that it's a play that can't be reviewed right now. I think it should be able to be reviewed, and then when it's reviewed, I think it shouldn't come from the referees or from the coaches. That needs to come from wherever the league office is at. Like, hey, the league office can look at a player on the field and like, hey, they'll call it down. Hey, that guy on the field looks kind of woozy. Let's check him for a concussion. On the same breath, if the ref throws a flag, roughing the passer, the league from upstairs should be like, yo, that wasn't roughing the passer. Like they should be able to. That should be something that should be reviewable, because at the end of the day, none of those two plays, in my opinion, were roughing the passer. They could have. That one of them changed the whole trajectory of the game, and the other one, thank God, Kansas City won, because if they didn't, that would have changed the whole trajectory of that game as well. So to me, it needs to be something that's reviewable. Remember when pass interference was a reviewable, and that was a nightmare. So it's like, what can you actually do, right? I don't know. It's one of those things in which they need to have like a very strict definition. Okay, this is the rule, and still keep it within the respect and confines of it's still a football game. You know what I mean? And it's not patty cake or whatever they want the shit to be. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
we'll see.
I
We're gonna see if they want this shit to be patty cake or they want this to be real football. I mean, I see other countries play rugby and all this other, hockey is still hockey. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, I don't want people having CTE and I don't want all these head injuries because I don't want my future children to play anything football unless they're a kicker, in my opinion, at this point. But I mean, seriously, if you're a kicker or a punter, you're kind of protected. So I'd much rather my son be a kicker, be a black kicker, whatever. And he, that's endorsements, right? So we're gonna see. But and then we were talking about Tom before we get to baseball. Is it worth it, Tom Brady? I'm asking you, A-Rod. Is it worth it?
just want him to retire already.
Is it worth it though? Is it worth it?
Fuck them kids. That's what he seems to say, man. Like he just loves playing football. And it doesn't look the same Tom Brady out there. It looks
not at all.
It looks lackluster is what it looks like. It just looks boring. It doesn't.
He don't got that. He don't got his rock no more. His rock is not there having his back. Like, you okay, baby? Let me rub your shoulders. Let me massage your head. It ain't like that no more.
Yeah, you don't have Gronk either, so it looks foreign as well out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it just doesn't look. I mean, the Bucks are performing, but we would all think they'd be 5-0, but they're not.
The defense is performing.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is performing.
Yeah. Is it worth it? All in the eyes of the man of what he wants to do in his life and where he wants to go in his path and trajectory and shit. So,
yeah.
If it were me, I'd say no.
Mm-hmm.
But Tom wants to prove stuff to people, and
what is that stuff? I don't understand what is there left to prove.
I don't understand it either, man. I really don't. Just go home and be a dad. Like, we're all waiting for you in the booth. We know it's going to be.
He tried it for a month, and he was like, "No, I'm straight, bro. I'm gonna come back and play." I don't know, man. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but yeah, I mean, the way I see it, I don't know if it's worth it or not. I don't know what the hell is going on in this man's head. Nobody wants to speak on somebody's relationship and all that stuff. But you're 45 years old. Everyone's already acknowledged that you're the greatest quarterback, football, whatever you want in ever. Like, just, I don't see. I personally just don't get it. But yeah. Let's get to your sport. Let's get to your sport. I just want to say, we haven't spoken in a few weeks about everything that's going on. First and foremost, I want to give a congratulations to Aaron Judge. He's had a hell of a season. The Yankees had a hell of a season in the beginning, and then they kind of teed it off a little bit towards the end, but they got through game one. And that's a good start right now. For me personally, no offense, Barry Bonds is still my home run king for the season.
Oh, mine too.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because I don't know how other Yankee fans feel, because obviously, we want to protect their own. But I started getting into baseball personally in 1998 and then 99 and forward when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were going back and forth. Because I lived in Detroit at this time, and the Tigers were terrible in the 90s. So I wasn't really into, watching the Tigers. But, we got the WGN network, and I got to watch Sammy Sosa like all the time when he was playing for the Cubs. And then I'm seeing this whole battle with him and Mark McGwire. So that whole era got me into baseball. And then Barry Bonds, it was, somebody who was black, who looked like me. I'm like, who I can kind of just latch on to, was doing stuff I'd never seen before. I started becoming a fan of the game because of that. So the way I see it, everyone was kind of doing it at that time, except for Ken Griffey Jr., the GOAT. But to me, he's still my home run king, but at the end of the day, I will give a lot of credit to Aaron Judge. Like, there's not that many Yankees that I do cheer for, but the ones that I do is Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, and Aaron Judge. Those are three Yankees that I've always have a soft spot in my heart for because I don't know, I don't know. Definitely big ups to your boy Aaron Judge. But yeah, go ahead. How you feeling, man? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, playoff baseball's here. This is what I live for. I love it. We got to see the wild card rounds last week. All I can say
How we look?
Yo, if anybody I'm impressed with is the Phillies. I think that's the team I'm most impressed with is the Phillies because Cardinals in my opinion had the better team. They had the better pitching, they had the better hitting. Everybody just got healthy for the Phillies, and everybody has bought into your new manager, and everything clicked.
We gave him a 2-year deal. So now he's officially not an interim anymore. He's officially our manager now, Mr. Thompson. He came from your system.
Yep.
29 years.
But I like the Phillies, and the Phillies for the first time I feel scared with the Phillies now, being in the playoffs.
Man, we just saw you like a decade ago. What you talking about?
Huh?
We just saw you in the World Series like over a decade ago.
I'm just saying that like I'm scared of the Phillies in the playoffs now because now they're going with the right head of steam. They've got the right manager there. I feel like they have found their identity. They've got the right pieces at the trade deadline. They went and got Roberson, more pitching to bolster the pen. You guys got another bat I can't think of off the top of my head. You got Sosa from the Cardinals. So
we got what's his name from Angels?
Marsh,
who was a great defensive player,
and Sherengard as well. So there's a lot of good things to be happy as a Phillies fan, and beating the Cardinals was bittersweet because I wanted Pujols to keep going and Molina, but you got.
I saw it as an honor for me. Like I got to send Albert Pujols and Molina into retirement. It's crazy because like I've been cheering for Pujols for a very long time, man. You know, for my team to be the team that sent him into retirement, I was very impressed with that. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, the one that I want to kind of stick on is the Mets and the Padres. Like I wanna like, I'm sorry, Mets fans. It's still not your year. It is still not your year with probably the greatest constructed roster I have seen in baseball for a long time. From your pitching to your bullpen to your starters to the bench, or to your everyday players to your bench. It was the greatest roster ever put together, but couldn't get it done. And it's funny, but even at that, I want to laugh at you Padres fans too, because you put this team together not to win the World Series, just beat the Dodgers. So now you get it. You get it now. And I'll never forget, I watched, was it 2 or 3 months ago when the trade deadline happened, and for some reason I decided to watch not Around the Horn. What's the one with Tony Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon? Pardon the interruption. I had to watch it with them, and they said they've got to win this series against the Dodgers. And you know what they did? They got swept. So I feel like the same thing is going to happen again. Padres went and spent all this money to get this team to put it together. One for your best player to get popped with steroids, and you spent all this money.
Come on, man, yeah.
And you spent all this money on Juan Soto, and Juan Soto ain't doing shit. I'm sorry. I know he got 2 hits the other night, but he ain't doing shit. So
let me just really quick. Can I piggyback off the Mets thing? So
please, I'd love to clown them.
I was, because I'm very superstitious, I deleted the tweet, but I tweeted a few days ago. I'm like, I would say it will be real funny, and I won't be surprised when the Padres beat the Mets in this wild card round, because the Mets I used Reggie Miller as like the choking, the Reggie Miller meme, whatever, when they choke. And I said it in one of my group chats too. I said it in the group chat. I'm like, the Mets are a choke job. They're going to find a way to choke this away. They had a 10.5 game lead in the NL East. Well, how long? Not that long ago. And they got tracked down by the Braves. that forced him to be in this position to have to be in a wild card game in the first place. And then he got, I mean, it wasn't a clean sweep, but there's no reason for them to have been in that game in that series in the first place. And I'm not surprised at all because, to me, you talk about like, with baseball, it's all about like, being it's about respect and all that stuff. And I'm still turned off about last year when they were doing the thumbs down shit. I'm still turned off about that from last year. And I'm like, I don't give a damn. Like, I was still turned off from that from last year. That's how mad I was about that. So like, in my head, I saw this coming. I don't feel bad for them whatsoever. They'll be back next year and they'll talk about this, that, and the third, and then so get hurt, and we'll see. But yeah.
I got this friend and I'm gonna name drop him right now. Don't ever like talk to him about sports and sports betting because he's literally a black cat. Jose Santiago, you know who you are. I'll text you after this and I shout your name out. Whenever he says something, it just never happens. He said literally when the playoffs started, I had the Cardinals as my dark horse to get to the World Series, swept. He literally said beginning of the season, Mets are going to win the whole thing. Gone. Like, he's not the guy that you want to talk sports with, especially sports.
Listen to me. I've had the Astros before. I had the Astros back in like April. My Astros going to be scary. And my dog Yordan Alvarez, Air Jordan.
Who's your daddy?
Home run. Let's get it, baby.
Who's your daddy? That's the new fantasy baseball name.
Yo, I'm all about bat flips. I like how you stare that shit down and threw that bat to the ground. I was like, let's go, Alvarez.
I want you to know that, like, as good as the Astros are, I think I'm more scared of the Mariners. I think the Mariners are a very scary team.
The Mariners are like a closet team I cheer for because of my dog Julio Rodriguez.
I love Julio Rodriguez is probably my new favorite baseball player.
Exactly. Thank you. Like,
but
I was onto something with him.
I want to focus also with the Blue Jays too. All that talent, just not to get anywhere as well, man. What did I tell you? Yeah. What did I tell you?
But the offense was there.
Yeah. The offense was there,
which we knew was going to be the case, but
it's experience.
Get you so far in October.
It's all experience.
In October.
And I also feel like George Springer is just a magnet for getting injured. Like they hit him in the wrist with the. I was like, only George Springer this would happen to. Yeah. Like, I feel like he's the AD of the MLB for sure.
Nah, he ain't that bad. AD is liable to slip on an ice cube in the hotel room, so he ain't that bad.
The Rays, I mean, tip of the hat to them.
Yeah,
that's a rough one because pitching was there. It was pitching duel the whole time, but you're seeing two teams with no hitting go against each other.
15 innings and shit.
It just took one hit. I took a nap in that game. I literally took a nap and woke up and saw. I was like, it's still going on.
Yeah. That one sucked. That one sucked a little bit, but yeah.
I mean,
for me at least,
as a Yankee fan, that's the team I didn't want to see was the Rays. I'd rather see Cleveland. Now, the only thing that scares me with Cleveland is last time we saw Cleveland in the playoffs was the Nat game with all the Nats on the mound. So hopefully that shit doesn't happen again. But other than that,
the third baseman.
I'm happy. I'm happy where we're sitting right now, man. I'm happy where we're sitting.
Who's the third baseman for the Cleveland Guardians?
Ramirez.
Yeah, that boy.
He wears a chain with his self on it. That's how you know.
That boy. When the rubber needs to meet the road, if he's at bat, some shit's gonna happen. That man's clutch. So
he's a switch hitter too. So
hey, listen, y'all, the bases were loaded on who picked Garrett Cole last night, right? The bases was loaded, man. Y'all got real lucky. I got out of that jam. Like, I felt like that turned the confidence in the game around after that. But
and who did he strike out? That man at third base.
So it was early though. If it was the ninth inning, that's a grand slam.
Listen, Garrett Cole scares me. Like, I know he's good, but like, he scares me on this team. I feel like he doesn't have the confidence he had with the Astros, and he'll throw that cookie right down the middle for a lot of pitchers. And Aroldis Chapman, bro, I wish I had an argument for you, bro. But you're not gonna be a Yankee next year. You're gone. Like you're officially gone. Like, and that sucks because that's a big power lefty arm we could
Who
use.
y'all got closing for y'all now?
Holmes, Clay Holmes,
Oh,
still the closer.
I like him. I like him though. He's good.
I like him too, but
Yeah.
I really am a big Aroldis Chapman fan.
Yeah.
But he's shot himself in the foot numerous times this year, and they left him off the roster because he didn't show up to a workout, and they told him to stay in Miami. So it's not going to be on the team most likely. And that sucks because I want everything and anything I can have on this team to win this year. But I like our matchup in this next round. The most intriguing one to me, though, I think is going to be the y'all are playing who?
Braves. I think we're going 5. I think we go 5. I think the Dodgers might sweep San Diego. I think we probably go 5 with LA.
I think the most intriguing one to me though is Seattle and Houston, because Seattle went up quick on Houston and Houston clawed back at the end. And that was bad bullpen management, in my opinion.
But what does Houston have?
What does Houston have? Houston has everything.
They have how many straight LCS have they been to? Like, this is nothing.
Oh, they've got the experience for
That's
sure.
what I'm saying. Like, this is that they did not look phased whatsoever. So to me, a team that hasn't been to the end of the playoffs in 20 years against this team is going to be real tough in Seattle. I think Seattle moving forward is going to be great next year. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know if they got the dogs to do it this year. I don't know about that one.
I think they got the dogs.
They got the dogs, but they don't have it up here yet. They're young.
I want to pray they do. I want to pray they do. But yeah, there's definitely the experience there on the Astros side. I can't stand the Astros. I thoroughly enjoy them.
They're not cheating no more, and they still are. So all that stuff. Listen, I don't give a damn what nobody says. Okay,
everybody cheats.
You know how I've always been. Everyone's if you're in the MLB, you cheating, right? The Astros are not beating on no garbage cans no more, and they still out there doing what they're supposed to do. So I'm just saying the talent was obviously there. That's kind of an argument with like all the whole steroid stuff, is that the guys who were using steroids that were still good, they were good before that. They were just a little bit better, and the Astros was good before that. They were just a little bit better, but they're still really good. So I don't know.
Phillies and the Braves is going to be a good one too. I feel like I think that's a good matchup.
They better not let us win tonight, because we got the way Nola's been pitching the last couple of weeks. Because we got Wheeler tonight. If we get Nola up 2-0 tomorrow, or whenever they get next game on it, it'd be what? Would it be tomorrow? Yeah, no, it'll be on Friday.
Yeah, on Friday.
Yeah, it'll be Friday. If we get come on, Bryson. But yeah, if we go up 2-0 tonight. I'm just saying, man. All the people that was talking shit, yeah.
It's a tough one, and your division, like I was telling you all along, like if the Phillies can get in, it'll be by the skin of their teeth, but they're also like a threat to do something in the playoffs when healthy and rolling with all oars in the water. And it seems like they got Bryce Harper back at the right time.
Yeah,
JT Realmuto finally found his stroke.
My boy.
Schwarber's hitting.
The weird. So
Castellanos, who had the worst year I've ever seen from him, got 5 RBIs in one game.
Yeah. The weird thing for me at least was that when we put Eflin in as a closer, it didn't look that good last night. But like, I was looking because Robertson's not gonna be able to play this series because he strained his calf celebrating. Beating the Cardinals, so
Robertson,
yeah, like he's
out, that's right, he did.
He's out for the series, so Sir Anthony Dominguez,
and
Alvarado and Eflin, they give me a little bit of heart palpitations, but I do like Zach Eflin not being the starter. I do like Zach Eflin being in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. I don't know if I want him to be the closer, but I do like him being in that role though a little bit better.
Yeah, Sir Anthony needs to be I love that name too. Sir Anthony needs to be the closer.
I like Sir Anthony a lot. Yeah, I like Alvarado too, to be honest. But yeah, I like Sir Anthony a lot.
Alvarado turned to a pinata quick, and then the last one, the Dodgers and Padres. I know I'm clowning the Padres. I mean, that'll be a good series between the two.
It should be at least.
It should, but I love clowning the Padres only for the fact that their mission every year is to win that division and be better than the Dodgers. When you can hate the Dodgers as much as you want, the Dodgers just gel well. And I know everyone's like, oh, they're going by players. Yeah, they got Freddie Freeman. I get that. But a lot of those players that are on that team have been there for a long time and have played with each other and are homegrown and know the Dodger way to play baseball. So clown them all you want, but they'll get one or two pieces and they'll be okay. So
I really hope we beat the Braves and because if the Dodgers and the Braves have to play next series, I don't want to see Freddie Freeman crying every game like, oh, I wish I was still over there. Like, I don't want to see that shit. So
I don't think you're gonna see that from Freddie. I think Freddie got that baby. Man, that's not Freddie's fault. I'm just playing. I know.
I was just being an asshole because the Braves.
I know, and I think Freddie would want to just like take him to Pound Town on that, anyways. Too. He's in.
You think so?
Yeah.
Don't be too nice. Like, let me just hit a double instead of a home run.
Freddie ain't built like that. Freddie's a competitor. Freddie, when in the big lights, Freddie performs. So I think that.
But we ain't got to worry about the Braves ain't got to worry about Freddie. We gonna have to worry about Freddie. So don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Indians. I think the Yankees got the right lineup.
They're not the Indians anymore, sir.
Yeah, the Guardians. I don't care.
Can you be politically correct, sir?
There's nothing wrong with that name, by the way.
Yo, I've been watching the Braves, and in my head, like, the whole tomahawk thing is cool. But then I think about, like, yo, would I be offended if I was Native American? Like, if I saw FSU, the Chiefs, and the Braves doing the tomahawk thing all day long.
They told them to stop that, and they kept doing it. I'd be
kind of offended if I was Native American. Like, yo.
If the tribe or the culture like is fine with it, and it's okay. I know, like, Florida State is fine with that, but like the Indians, I never saw any problems with the Indians. The only thing I had a problem with, if anything, would be the Chief Wahoo logo. But Indians, I don't think is that offensive. Redskins definitely got to go.
I mean, that's a racial slur. Like, come on now.
Yeah. But the tribe is dope. They could even just change it to the Cleveland Tribe. That'd have been dope.
The tribe would have been dope. Tribe would have been dope. Oh, I like that.
Keep the faithful there. Because when you look in that stadium, it's all Indians jerseys you see out there.
Yeah, the logo was kind of dope, though. I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of dope. I mean, let's be real, but
I'm not afraid of the Guardians at all, man.
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. Like, y'all need to start paying attention to the Astros. I don't like to look ahead, but I would look ahead if I was y'all. Like, just expect the Astros to be there and see what the hell y'all can do with that and see what happens.
I'm more scared of my team and its hitting what it is than I am with the opponent. But the next one is where I'm scared, because I'm scared of both the Mariners and I'm scared of the Astros for sure. So
I'd love to see Julio in the World Series, but probably not this year.
All right. Want to do pick'ems?
Let's wrap it up. I don't know what the score is because you got some tallying to do, but and we missed 1 week, but hey, it's all good. Let's start with the most boring game of the weekend. Justin Fields versus Carson Wentz. What do you got between Washington and Chicago? Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime. Listen, before you even say that, Jeff Bezos, please, I need a free month of Amazon Prime because, yo, what the hell? All these damn games you're putting on the damn schedule. Like, this is embarrassing. What you got?
You know what? It's in Chicago, right?
Yep. The Bears.
I'm gonna go with Chicago. I like the way they've been playing football lately.
I gotta go with Washington because what's his name called? Ron Rivera called them out. I need to see Carson Wentz throw 4 touchdowns to Terry McLaurin. That's what I need to see. Because one of my fantasy teams is 0-5. I just need a dub, man. I just need a dub.
5 in one league? Oh Lord.
I'm 3-2 in one league, 2-3 in one league, and 0-5 in my standard league. And that's why I don't play standard football, because standard is done. But I'm going with Washington. You're going with Chicago.
All right. And they were the hot uniforms. They were the orange uniforms too. So
yeah, whatever. Red Hot Giants versus the Baltimore Ravens. The game is in New York, in the Meadowlands, or New Jersey, actually. But yeah, Baltimore at the Giants.
Man, my fantasy teams are good for one man and one man only, and I'm riding that train. I'm going with Baltimore Ravens.
Amen. Let's get it. I'm going Baltimore as well. More so, I don't want the Giants to win this game. Like, come on, man. I need to stop. All right, next. Arizona at Seattle. Kyler Murray at Geno Smith. To try to write him off, and he's still balling. So who you got?
Man, that's a good one.
I know. Division game.
It's a division game too. Oh man. Pete Carroll said something today that really bothered me that I wouldn't expect Pete Carroll to say. And he said that Drew Lock is like chomping at, or like on Geno Smith's heels to start.
You lying.
Like, why would you say that? I swear to God,
he say that.
He did. Look it up.
Oh,
Look it
God.
up.
I'm picking Arizona.
I'm taking Arizona too.
I'm picking Arizona. Pete Carroll's he's already too confident. He don't lost his mind.
Yeah, like if your quarterback is playing that good, don't even bring up Drew Lock's name.
Jeez,
like you don't got to
for real.
But yeah, he did say that today. So
anyway, speaking of former Broncos, the Broncos and the Chargers at the Chargers. Broncos need a victory back. The Chargers, they're coming off of a dub, but against the Browns, what you got?
All I can say is the Broncos aren't who we thought they were. So I'm going to Chargers, man.
You know Chargers. What? Yeah, Russ is hurt. I guess he has a shoulder issue. I feel like this is a desperation game for the Broncos. If they don't win this game, it's over for them. So I'm picking Denver to win this game. I want to see a vintage Russ throw for 400 yards and let's ride. Broncos Nation, let's ride. All right, last one. The game of the week, the game of the year, the AFC Championship game. It already planned in my head. It's going to be the AFC Championship game. The one that should have been the AFC Championship game last year. Buffalo at Kansas City. Who do you got? Kansas City, for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career, is an underdog at home. Who you got?
This is a good one. This is the game of the year, man. I want to pick with my heart here. I'm not picking with my gut on this one. I'm picking with my heart because I absolutely hate Buffalo. And I'm going with my boy Patty.
Hey, listen, I'm with you. My heart is screaming Pat Mahomes. Like, come on, you better shut this big boy Josh Allen up. Let's go. Honestly, if I had to choose, if I do pick Kansas City, it will be with my heart. I'm picking Kansas City. I really want them to win this game. They're at home. The fact that they're underdogs, to me, that's enough chip that needs to be on his shoulder. No. And the way he came out against Tom Brady and he just ran him up, I think they're gonna do the same thing. I don't think they're gonna do the same thing, but they're gonna have a good game. So I'm going Kansas City.
I also think that people don't take for granted what Arrowhead Stadium does.
For sure.
Them. Well, it's the loudest stadium.
Tomahawk thing too.
Yeah. So I think racism is fun. I think that in those elements, that's where they're going to thrive. If we went to Buffalo, I think I would have put it more in Buffalo's.
I would agree with you. Yeah, I would agree. The fact the game's in Kansas City, that's why I'm letting my heart defeat my mind on this one. I'm gonna rock with Kansas City here too. And then for shits and giggles, who did the Jets play this weekend?
We play Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, I believe.
Ooh, how you feel about that game?
I'm scared. Like, I don't care if the Giants beat him. I can, you know me. I'm realist about this. Like, I think they're going to lose, and I think they're going to lose bad. But
you know what?
Gardner keeps proving me wrong every time.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a little nervous about the Cowboys. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even want to admit it, but I am, because like it's hard to be 6-0 in any freaking league, bro. If we can go 6-0, like that's fantastic. But like, I don't know, man. They got something's clicking. Something is clicking over there. So as long, I don't know, we gonna see. But I am a little concerned. But I ain't gonna pick who's gonna win or not, because I don't ever do that with my team. But I am concerned. But we're gonna see if it's Cooper Rush or it's Dak Prescott. Cool, whatever. But yeah, that's it. Go ahead, take it away. Give us the drops. Where do you find us at?
The drops. Okay, so you can find us on Twitter at @fair_weatherpod. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, just search the Fairweather Podcast. Wherever you subscribe to podcasts, you can hear the audio there as well. My words of advice before we leave. If you haven't congratulated KK already, shame on you. You better send him congratulations on, exactly, look at that. Congratulations on being engaged. I'm thoroughly excited for him. I'm excited for both you and Liz. It's going to be great. And for me, Jets keep proving me wrong. Yankees keep winning, baby. That's all I want.
And for me, fighting. Like the Phillies, man, we fighting. I'm fighting everything. I start a new job on Monday. I'm excited.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, congrats. I do. I'm still recruiting with Jefferson Frank Recruitment Group. It's a bigger company, new lane, new opportunities. So October is a good month. And I hope the same for everybody. It's gonna be a good month for you, A-Rod. It's gonna be a good month for everybody. Let's get it. Fighting.